As you probably know, we're the only ethnic-based health profession in the world that has national training curriculum as well as regulation to support the profession. Our organisation supports our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health workers and health practitioners by providing resources and professional development. So obviously NAATSIHWP, we previously were called NAATSIHWP. We were founded in 2009 by our founding members. They were very much the trailblazers for what you see our organisation, what it is today. Without their unique courage and historic leadership skills that they undertook in 2009, that actually set the platform and the foundations for our organisation. It was a culmination of national consultations, and we started off being funded under the Closing the Gap agreement back in 2009. And, without those men and women being the trailblazers of our organisation, we would not be where we are today.
So benefits of NAATSIHWP is having that support, a collected support nationally around Australia. You're learning about what other areas are giving back to their community and how they've gotten to the places where they've gotten. Also supporting others and showing off the good work that you're doing. Getting policies changed into, legislation, which is awesome, getting job recognition and our payrolls advanced. Things that should have been done a long time ago from the beginning, but we're still fighting for. So now we've got a great organisation behind us that is doing that for us, being the voice for Indigenous health workers.
I think the benefits of being a member are the strong relationships that are built throughout Australia. It gives us a bigger voice, and we can support each other to show how our profession should be seen. So I think it just gives us that collective voice to say, hey, we're here, this is who we are, and you need to listen because we've been doing this for so long, and we're doing it better. We're doing it in a cultural way and in the way that our community want it. So it's about standing together and having a voice.
For NAATSIHWP to strengthen, I suppose like a voice for the health workers, and one other thing is to look at to advocate for them within the national level, because I should strengthen the health workers to be more to look at more pathways for them, to strengthen them to go into different professional fields so they can be betterment in whatever roles they're doing. To look at the local, they can be working within the local levels with the communities, or also with the state, or also like the NAATSIHWP national level, and getting together into different areas, and also really advocating strong that we're there for voice for them, to give them that support if they what the needs are within the community, so we can actually advocate behalf of them to strengthen them, to ensure that the health workers will get recognised in that field.
So our members, there's obviously three main health sectors. So we have the ACHO sector, Aboriginal Community Control Health Organisation sector. We also have a lot of health workers that work for government health services, as well as health workers that work in private practice.
I just love, with a passion again, what NAATSIHWP does for Indigenous health workers, especially when you love your job and your career choice as much as what I do. You want that recognition, and you want that support, and you want that, that growth and where we want our future to go as an Indigenous health worker.
I was the first Aboriginal health practitioner to be registered in Tasmania, and since then we've had another couple come on board, but it highlighted to me when I went to some NAATSIHWP conferences that we could get so much from being involved in NAATSIHWP, and that we could give so much because we are trying to do it down there in a different way. I think everyone all around Australia does it differently. But one of the things that were most important that I noticed was that there's not enough recognition anywhere in Australia for Aboriginal health workers or practitioners, that people don't understand the role, and unless they've as a lot of health professionals and public health, unless they've been involved, they don't understand the role and the importance of it. So I think that's really important that we get that out there.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think to become a health worker, it's something that's ingrained inside of you. And you'll find a lot of health workers are passionate about what they do because it's just naturally in them. You're no longer just a 9 to 5 job role. It's 24/7, 365 days a week. People are calling you private numbers instead of the home lines or the work phones, and they're stopping you in the shops and in the streets, and you're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes that before it actually comes into the clinical or primary healthcare centre.
So health workers sort of they're the first contacts, and I think one thing the health workers are blessed with, we're just not clinicians. The health workers we're also blessed with, we've got the cultural side of things with us, because we're born there, we breed there, and people from outside, when they come in and they don't have that, it's more clinical they have, and we're blessed with the two stuff. So health workers are the ones, when the community see them, they actually let people in, and respect is the other thing too, because even though like Taurus is a small, but the languages and the kinship are different, so you need health workers within those areas to actually go into their own community to advocate in between, like a broker between community and health.
Things never go to as planned, like time's nothing. So it is what it is on the day, and you might have everything planned minute by minute, but when you get out there, something might happen, so you just have to go with the flow. And, like you're in community, you got to learn to relax a bit and just go with what's happening in community. Like there might be something happening down the road that you just have to, you don't go down there and you just continue on what you're doing wherever you're doing it. So, yeah, it's nothing is planned, and you just have to go with what the community, and just feeling what's happening in community as well, and listening to the people from the community about what's happening in that. So
I think everywhere in Australia, the role of the health practitioner, health worker brings the mob in, brings our people together, teaches them in their own ways and their own languages, so that they can understand and feel trust in what we're doing. I think that because we've grown up in the community, we know the community, we're family, they know that we're always going to have their best interests at heart, and that we're going to try and make sure that the health of our community is as good as it can be.
Well, so I'm sort of encouraging all the health workers that first even train in, or even members, to what NAATSIHWP is doing. The communication is really good. They keep up to date with our members, getting them up to date information what NAATSIHWP is doing throughout Australia, and it also networking, bonding between other health workers too, to see what they're doing, what are good things they're doing, how we can make it better, and to strengthen them in a way that they're not alone. There's other health workers elsewhere that give them that support, and give them information in if there's any trainings coming in or any other things, so they can look into it and then maybe participate in those things.
yeah, I do. I love my job. I've been an Aboriginal health practitioner for 27 years, since I was 18 years old. So, and I love what I do. I love to see people grow, and like the only way that we're going to become strong is if we stay in our positions and we keep going forward. So, yeah.
I have huge things with NAATSIHWP. I mean, I'd love to see it more than just a national name within Indigenous health, maybe global, maybe even been doing a lot of RTO stuff, leading that pathway to further choices that, maybe the younger generation want to become more than just a health worker. Getting that career pathway for them into nursing, medicine, allied health, whatever they choose.
You know, we see NAATSIHWP, you know, heading towards being a self-determined, self-funded organisation. We know the government funding isn't going to be around forever and a day. So we're working towards ensuring that we can generate our own funds. We became a charity in October 2020. So we're looking to lever off that status in order to generate our own funds to do activities that are very much identified by our members in order to ensure that we become an organisation that is self-determining, you know, and self-funded. So we're not having to rely on the government funding, and, you know, 10 years' time, this should position us to be a sustainable organisation for many, many years to come.